because at the time I took it a little more serious, took Islam seriously, tried to anyway, and so that was the general feeling. At school, I had some run-ins, not too many, not a whole lot. I had some run-ins trying to pray Jummah. They wouldn't let me at that time. They wouldn't let me go to Jummah every Friday, and my mom wasn't really feeling the whole Islam thing. And so what I would do is I would just every third Friday, according to basically the hadith of the Prophet, I wouldn't, every third Friday I would skip school. I would skip school and I would go to Jummah. Every third Friday, that's what I did. I would skip school and I go to Jummah. Because at that time there was it was something very new to a lot of people, especially in my area. I used to pray in school. During lunchtime or anything like that. I had one run-in where I was praying in the locker room. Generally the locker room no one was there. But I had one run-in where a guy decided he wanted to throw a sock at me. And I had to break my prayer, and I confronted him. He got a little scared because he thought I wasn't able to do anything once I was praying, but that was all that happened. Generally, most people respected you and respected kind of your beliefs in general, and so I wasn't a popular person, but at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, that's what he does. That's kind of how it was, that's what Gary does. So I wasn't really picked on or bothered because of my faith. I had that luxury. One of the things that did I ever change my mind about Muslims or Islam? Not necessarily. One of the things that happened is that, number one, I learned about Tawheed before Islam. The oneness of God. I learned about basic Islamic belief in God, and that's something that really stuck with me. That was a belief that I understood, and it was so simple to me. I really understood Tawheed. I really understood that this was kind of like the purpose of my life, and so it was real easy for me to kind of take that. And once that was there before, I didn't have too many problems afterwards. I actually had problems taking that step. I want to say, well, listen, before I become Muslim, I want to go out and do things and maybe have one last party or something like that. But that wasn't the case. Actually, when I took my Shahada, the Sheikh Abdul Rahman, he said, listen, man, you could step out this door. He explained Tawheed to me, the oneness of God. And then he said, listen, man, are you ready to take this Shahada? And I said, well, maybe. And he said, listen, if you go out this door, you may get hit by a car. You may be at home and be in a drive-by. And so you need to really think about this, and you will be able to meet your Lord correctly. And so that really put some focus in some things. And that's when I actually took my Shahada. And like I said before, I felt that I was nurtured. And so one of the things that the Muslims told me was that Islam is perfect and Muslims are not. And that was something that I really had to think about. Excuse me, I really had to think about. And I ended up really seeing, not every Muslim is going to be the perfect Muslim, follow and everything, or what we call it here, being an angel. And so that was something that they told me very early. It was excellent advice because sometimes we see this perfect system of Islam, and we expect those people to follow this perfect system to be perfect, and that is not the case. And so that advice I even give today. I give same people, newer Muslims, that same advice. Islam is good. Islam is perfect. This belief system is there. But the way Muslims practice is not always perfect. And so I didn't really ever have an issue with thinking about going back from Islam. That for me, alhamdulillah, that was something that I don't think I had to deal with for the most part. If I had to deal with anything, especially in the form of belief, if I had to deal with anything, it was more or less some of the practices. Just regular issues, girls, just the things that the average teenager or young man would come into contact with and kind of drive him away from Islam. But I don't think I never had a moment of I didn't believe in Allah and I didn't believe in the oneness of God. That never, after I learned that, I never doubted that. I never doubted that. The most beautiful thing about Islam is, like I said before, Tawheed, the simplicity of worshiping Allah, the simplicity of belief. It's very simple. Actually, I had one of the young Muslims here. His family is originally from Pakistan, and he asked that question. He's like, what is the thing that really changed you most about Islam, or you think really changed? And I think that the most beautiful thing about Islam is its simplicity in purpose. You are to worship Allah, the Most High. You worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, with no partners, and you are here to be a good person. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, you can't get that simple in that. Now, yes, there's technical issues here and there and other things of that nature, but on a much simplified scale, and you don't have to go that far to get that simple. You're here to worship Allah. You're here to make sure that Allah is a focus in your life, and I really appreciate that beauty. It's extremely simple. It's extremely beautiful. It's comprehensive, and I don't think you can find that sense of purpose and that blend of belief and worship. The blend of belief and worship in any other religion. You can't. This is the truth. So I don't think that you can really do that. Islam is its beauty is in its simplicity and the oneness of God, and the oneness of purpose, and you're worshiping that God. My opinions about the Islamic world. The Islamic world is being blessed to travel and to visit parts of the Islamic world. Like I said, I spent most of my adult life, my formative adult years, from 19 to 27, in Medina, in the Medina Nabawiyah, in the prophetic city, Tayyibat al-Tayyiba, and learning Islam. And so that was something that I really appreciate, and I got a chance to meet and interact with a lot of Muslims, to ask questions, to see their situations, how it was different, how it wasn't. My roommates were from Azerbaijan, from Turkey, from Sweden, from Suriname, Burkina Faso, Indonesia, Morocco. I had roommates from Mali. And I interacted with people from almost every country or ethnicity that you saw, from France to various countries of Africa, Mozambique, and West Africa, to South America, Mexico, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, any country that has a stand at the end of it, Russia, places in Europe. And so